The Kia Niro plug-in hybrid really does seem to do it all. With an official WLTP electric driving range of 36 miles, CO2 and economy of company car drivers' dreams, and purchase costs that aren't too far off standard diesel and petrol alternatives, it's easy to see why the Niro is shaking up the established compact family SUV market. But the Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, or PHEV as it's more commonly known, is not without serious competition. After all, this car costs just over £30,000, which means that you're very nearly into Mini Countryman or Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid territory, and that's before you've started thinking about petrol or diesel alternatives like the very excellent Skoda Karoq. And to add to that, if you're looking at the Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, there is every likelihood that you've given passing thought at least to the full hybrid or indeed pure electric versions of the same car. Whilst the Niro PHEV does on paper look to be all the car that any person ever needs ever, actually the buying decision is a really complicated one, which is why we are here to simplify it for you. First things first, charging the Niro plug-in hybrid is easy. Just pop open the flap on the car's wing and connect the standard 3-pin or Type 2 cable. Bear in mind that, as with most plug-in hybrids, there's no CCS fast charging on offer here as there is with the pure electric e-Niro. Plug into a fast charger of 7 kilowatts or more and you'll get a full charge in around 2 hours and 15 minutes at best, while plugging into a 3-pin domestic socket should charge up the 8.9 kilowatt-hour battery in around 3 hours. When you're done charging, sadly there is no dedicated cable storage in the boot. However, while you can't get around the fact that these cable bags are going to be in the way, at least Kia has given you some heavy-duty Velcro so that they're not rattling around. Right, before we even start talking about what the Niro plug-in hybrid is like to drive, I want to clarify something. The Kia Niro is available with 3 powertrains. You can get it as a full hybrid, also known as a self-charging hybrid, and that means that it doesn't need to be plugged in at all. It has a very small battery and that will give you a small amount of electric running at parking speeds and low speeds around town, that kind of thing. The other one is a plug-in hybrid, which is what we're testing here. Now this has got an official electric range of 33 miles. Obviously you do need to plug it in, as we've just discussed. And then once you're out of electric power, then you fall back onto the 1.6 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine. So you can use it as a completely ordinary petrol car thereafter. The third variety is called the e-Niro, which is a full electric Niro. And that has a real-world range of around 250 to 260 miles, as we've found when we've tested it. You can check out our full review on that as well. Of course, that does have to be plugged in. It relies completely on being plugged in because it does not have a petrol or diesel engine to fall back on. So there you have it. That is the Niro range. Here we have the happy medium, the plug-in hybrid, which is likely to appeal to anybody who maybe you can only charge up at work, but if you've got a really short commute, then you could still be looking at virtually fuel-free commuting, which is great, really. You know, like we said, real-world range of around 20 to 25 miles in this car. So that's how this does seem to be really everything that anybody could ever need. You're going to get pure electric running in the week, provided you can charge up at the office or at home, or ideally both. And then you can go and visit family in far-flung places at the weekend with the kids and not have to worry about charging up on the motorway. So all good. And it's also perfectly nice to drive, I have to say. I mean, it's not gonna, you know, it's no firecracker. It's a bit boring, frankly. And the thing that lets it down, I'll say this now, this 1.6 litre petrol engine. When you're just driving along like this, it's absolutely fine. It's reasonably, you know, in the background, you can't hear it too badly. But the problem is, if you want to accelerate hard, merge into some fast traffic, something like that, then this happens. It's just quite boomy and coarse. It's not very nice. And to be honest, the actual acceleration that you get isn't particularly great either. So, you know, ultimately this is a car that very much suits being driven around nice and calmly, and then it's just fine. The ride comfort's a little bit lumpy at low speeds, but it's not too bad. The automatic gearbox here, which is standard, does the job all right, provided, again, you don't want to drive the car too hard. And as long as you're happy with that, then really, you're not going to have much to complain about. Maybe there's a bit more tyre noise than some people might expect as well. If you want something that's exciting to drive, or that has, you know, a modicum of actually being kind of involving, then you might be a bit disappointed. But most people don't. Most people just want something that's comfortable, quiet, and feels nice and stable, and that is exactly what this is. Do remember that this is not four-wheel drive. I know it's classed as a family SUV, but really it's kind of a hatchback. It's sort of a high-riding hatchback, front-wheel drive only. So if you want towing or off-road stuff, probably look elsewhere. The Niro plug-in hybrid only comes in one spec and it's very well equipped as standard. You even get these leather heated seats and even a heated steering wheel as standard, plus electric adjustment for the driver's seat. You get cruise control, you get rear parking camera, front and rear parking sensors, automatic lights and wipers, you name it, it's probably standard. You also get this 8-inch colour touchscreen, which is actually a really good system. It's very easy to use. You get sat-nav, digital radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You know, Kia kind of does really lead the field for standard equipment. It's really good. The only things that are notably missing from the equipment list are LED headlights and also keyless entry, both of which are things that a lot of family motorists really value these days. Practicality is good in the Niro. There's usefully more room than you'll enjoy in the Hyundai Kona Electric, if rather less than you'd get in bigger SUVs like the Nissan Qashqai and Skoda Karoq. Certainly, there's plenty of space for 2 adults to sit comfortably in the back, and the boot offers a bit more space than you'd get in something like a Golf or Focus, so you should get a chunky buggy and weekly food shop in there just fine. If you're dead set on a family plug-in hybrid car, then the Kia Niro should be absolutely top of your shortlist. It's comfortable, it's practical, it's good value, and it's got really good real-world electric range. So it's really going to be about as efficient as a combustion engine car can be, provided you do short journeys and have easy access to charging points. However, the other thing to consider is that all-electric Kia e-Niro, which is usefully better to drive and with a real-world range of over 250 miles, actually is likely to do everything that most motorists are ever going to want of a car. So, if you can, be brave and go without a petrol engine or diesel engine at all. But if you're dead set on a plug-in hybrid and you think it will suit your lifestyle perfectly, and it's easy to see why, then this is one of the absolute best out there.